welcome to my vlog. This is my vlog on the rule of thirds within interviews and the 180-degree rule, and this is for Amy's Unit 1 and 2 work. To start with, we're going to start with the rule of thirds with interviews, and as you may have noticed during interviews, it is very unlikely, unless in rare cases, that the main person is being interviewed right in the centre of the screen. You will notice that these people are typically just off centre, or maybe next to something, or on the edge of the camera. This is called the rule of thirds in interviews. This is so that the person being interviewed isn't in the same centre of attention as it tends to look better. Isn't in the centre of attention as it tends to look better this way. A good example of this is when a man was interviewing the cast of Jumanji, and you can see that there was a huge movie poster on one side of the room, and the four main protagonists of Jumanji and the four main actors were on the other side of the room. And this it had a much better effect, rather than having them all just planted in the middle of the room. And I think there's no good reason of why this is. It just tends to look better. Whereas, for example, say this remote was being interviewed. If this was slap bang in the middle, it doesn't look as great. But if you've got something that also diverts the attention away, for example this, here, and then the remote's over here, it's not always, the attention isn't always solely on this, but it might also be on this, and especially if this is talking, which it can't because it's a remote, obviously, it just tends to come off as a better effect. Now we'll talk about the 180-degree rule. And it's not really a very basic concept, and it's not a well-known thing, but the basic concept of the 180-degree rule is showing the on-screen spatial relationship between two characters. And it sounds a bit off, but this is done by creating a sort of imaginary axis between the two characters, and this allowed the audience to connect with unseen movement around the frame. And it shows off what you would see behind the characters at certain times, for example. So I'm going to use the remotes again. We're going to call this one John, this one Dave. And say there was a camera panning around these two remotes. The first camera would be showing John, for example, and it would be showing only this side of John. Okay? This was Dave. It said it would be showing this side of Dave. Right? It's a bit confusing, but it's called the 180-degree rule. And this allows the audience to see more around the room or the scene or what's happening, and it sort of gives them the impression that they're there and they can understand where this is going. For example, if they're in a wooded area, they'll be able to see a bit more, and if there was something that ran across in the background, in the backdrop of the scene, then you'd see, and but the characters didn't see. And this sort of gives the audience a feel as if they are watching someone, and it's really good, and it does have a very, very good effect.